A welcome award to one of show business's most humanitarian men, Danny Thomas. You know, there's a trend in motion pictures today for stars to move from in front of cameras to behind them as producers and directors. Let's go Hollywood backstage for an exclusive interview with one who has made the transformation very successfully, Cornel Wilde. Hello, Cornel. You look very good today.
Thank you, John. Good to see you again.
I wanted to ask you, as being one of the several stars in Hollywood today who are branching out into the executive end, that is producing and directing motion pictures, how do you go about getting your properties?
Well, I've had a good bit of experience with that. I've been producing and directing about 6 years now. I've done 6 films that way. Well, for example, when I was in London finishing The Naked Prey, picture I shot in Africa, I read the London Times, the Sunday Times, and I saw a wonderful review of a book called The Nowhere City. It sounded very, very interesting. I got a copy of it, and I just flipped for it. And I gave it to my wife, Jean Wallace, to read. Now, Jeannie spent the whole afternoon, and at 3 in the morning, I got in a rage and made her put out the light. She wouldn't put the book down. So the next day, I started inquiring about the rights to it. I found out after a few days who the agent was and had a chat with him, a very, very English gentleman. And the book is about Los Angeles by an American author named Alison Lurie. It happened to be published in England first. And I made an offer. And he said he would transmit the offer to the author who was in Ithaca, New York, with her husband, who was a professor at Cornell University. And that was, I think, on a Friday, because that Sunday I looked in the London Observer and saw another rave review of the book and also a list of bestsellers. It was now on the bestseller list. And this sent me into a tizzy because I was afraid I'd lose it. So Monday, first thing, I got the agent and asked if the letter had gone off. No, he was about to dictate it. So I insisted that he telephone Ithaca, New York, and I said, I pay for the call. I want an immediate answer because I'm leaving for Africa again, whatever it was. So he called and got back to me and said they wanted more money and so on, and a percentage and so on. At this point, I agreed. It's a terribly funny and very sexy book about Los Angeles.
Cornel, I don't want to ask you any personal question, but...
I don't know if you've read it or not, but if you haven't, you really should.
Well, the question I wanted to ask you was, and you don't have to give me an exact figure, but just for our own information, when you buy rights to a novel like this, what is the price range? Not the exact price, you don't have to say that.
Well, if it had not been on the bestseller list in England, at the time that I made my offer, I probably could have gotten it for about $10,000. If I try to buy it today, I might have to pay over $100,000.
Thank you very much, Cornel. Real nice talking with you.
Good to see you. Thank you, John.